On the 27th of May, I bought my very first duplex, and if you keep watching this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know, so don't go anywhere because today we're talking about it. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Javon, and on this platform I talk about a lot of things from real estate to investing and so much more. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then you probably know back in the 15th of March, I sold the very first home that I bought and got a check worth $82,000. Now, as soon as I got that check, I started the process to find my very next rental investment. And on the 27th of May, I closed on my deal for the duplex. Now, I'm going to be sharing everything with you, how I did that in this video here. The only thing that I ask that you give me in return for all this free information I'm about to kick your way is that you hit that like button down below, subscribe to the Money Family, and without that being said, let's go ahead and dive into these numbers. All right, so to understand the whole entire process, I first have to take you back to the very beginning. Now, on the 12th of April this year, after I sold my house and I let a little bit of time go by, I hit up my property manager who also serves as my realtor, and I said, hey, I got some money. What kind of deals do you have right now? And he informed me of two separate properties that he currently manages, him and his property management company. And he said, hey, these deals are about to hit the market. They haven't hit the market yet, but they're about to, because the owners of them wanted to sell those properties in order to go and buy something bigger. Now, pro tip. Right? And I'm not a pro, but I feel like I can still share this tip. Pro tip, if you are a new investor, some of the best deals that you can probably find are going to be called off-market deals, or sometimes referred to as pocket listings. This basically means that these deals have not hit the market yet. There's not too many eyes on them, and that gives you prime time to put yourself ahead of the crowd. Now, in order to find these off-market deals, you gotta make connections. You gotta talk to realtors, property managers, wholesalers, and sometimes you even have to do some research around yourself, do a little driving for dollars, whatever you gotta do. But I know off-market deals are pretty good if you can get your hands on them. Make sure you try your best to. Now, after my property manager told me about these two real estate properties, I started doing the math on both of them to see which one, or if any of them, made sense for me to purchase. Now, I ended up buying the duplex, so that is the one that I'm going to show you on the screen here, so that way you can run through these calculations with me. All right, so the list price for the duplex was $169,900. Now, since this is a multi-family property, I would be required to place 25% down as a down payment instead of the regular 20% you may see for a regular investment purchase. Now, my closing cost for this property ended up being a little under $10,000, and my interest rate that I acquired was 5.708. Now, this brings my total need to invest in this deal a little over $52,000. You got some money for the down payment and then the rest for the closing costs. Now, to analyze if those numbers make sense, we have to take a look at the right side of the chart. When I purchased this duplex, it had two tenants inside of it. One tenant pays a rent of $910 a month, and the second tenant pays $795 a month. This brings the total monthly income for this property up to $1,705 every single month. After knowing the income, we must analyze the expenses next. For the property and the interest, I pay for principal and interest, I pay $740.22 a month. And for property taxes combined with insurance is another $202. Now, if we set aside 5% for repairs, 5% for vacancy, and 5% for capital expenditures, anything that might go wrong with the house like roof or plumbing or things of that nature, that combined ends up being an extra $300 a month. And we also have to pay management fees for this property because I'm not managing it myself. I pay my property manager to do that for me. So he takes 10% of the monthly income that the property generates, which ends up being $170.50. Now, that is not everything, because the water meters on this duplex is combined, which means that I am responsible as the landlord for handling the water bill every month. So I had the property management at the time, my property manager, sent me over the past 6 months water bill so I could kind of estimate what those were going to be, and that brought my total up to, with everything combined, $1,512.22. You can see the water bills for the past 6 months wasn't that expensive, so it was under $80, $90, so it wasn't that bad. Now, when we look at this deal, I am interested in a couple of things. Mainly, what do I make after expenses, usually called the cash flow, and how long will it take me to recuperate my initial investment? And finally, what is my return? On the bottom half of this chart, we see a monthly cash flow of $270 with potential to increase that income and a cash return of a little over 6%, meaning it would take about 16 years for me to recuperate my initial investment. So with the purchase of this duplex, my monthly cash flow increases an extra $270 a month, and I am super excited. What do you think about the deal? Do you think it was a good one? Personally, let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to see what you think. As an investor, and especially as a beginning investor, I was super excited to get this deal. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I was excited for multiple reasons, right? So the first reason I was excited for this deal was because it is my first duplex investment. My very first out-of-state investment was a single family home. I created a playlist. I'll link that above and down below so you can follow that as well if you've never seen that video. But my first investment was a single family home. This is a duplex. So that brings me to a total of 3 units under my name. That's a big milestone, and I'm super excited for that. The next reason I was excited to get my hands on this deal was because you may know interest rates are rising and rising, and personally, I don't see an end to it anytime soon. So the interest rate that I got on this deal was 5.708, and when you can get an interest rate for that low on an investment property, personally, I think you take that leap, and that's exactly what I did. The third reason I was excited to get my hands on this deal was basically because I really wanted to take the cash that I made from the selling of my first house and put that right back into the market. Looking at it in my bank account, don't get me wrong, it was nice, but it's time to put my money to work. So getting it out of my bank account into some more assets and building up the foundation that I want to create for the future for myself, I was really excited to get back to doing what I love to do. Now, I'm a beginning real estate investor, and I made this channel to talk about investing in real estate as a beginner, investing in stocks as a beginner, learning how to build up your credit, and so many more topics, right? But I know that this recent purchase of mine that I just made, this duplex, it doesn't seem really beginner-ish, just mainly because what beginner has $52,000 to just throw out? And to that, I wanna say, you don't need $52,000 in order to get started. Take me, for example. I started investing in real estate with a little under $15,000 to my name, and in 2019, I bought my very first house. Now, after I bought that very first house, I put a roommate inside of it. I house hacked it. It's a strategy that I talk about on this channel here, and you can find many videos about it, but I house hacked it in order to bring more income so I can save more and more in order to buy more properties. So after I bought my very first property with under $15,000 and I house hacked it, I saved money viciously. In the following year, towards the end of the year, I saved up $19,000 in 2020, and I bought another real estate purchase. This time it was purely as an investment purchase, and it was out of state. Now, after I bought that out of state investment, I saved again for the following 2 years, and then I sold the house that I was living in 2022. So with the money that I saved and the money that I made from the sale of that purchase, I then bought this duplex. I say all that to say that this deal that I'm talking about in this video is not the very first deal that I did. And if you want to be great, if you want to get started in real estate investing is definitely one of those fields where you don't have to be great in order to get started, but you have to get started if you ever want to be great. And you don't need $52,000 to get started, so please don't let that be a limiting belief factor for yourself. So if you can't invest in real estate because your credit is too low and no bank is gonna wanna work with you, I make videos on how to increase your credit score. If you don't have enough money by yourself, I make videos on how you can get into properties and then move people into those properties. That way you can pay a lower payment every single month. Like I said, it's called house hacking. If you don't want a house hack, maybe you can move with a friend. If you want to move with a friend, maybe you can find a way to increase your income or decrease your expenses. Either way, there's no excuses, and I'm here to give you every single solution that you may or may not need. So with all that being said, I hope you liked the content. I was super pumped to make this video for you. And don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, like the video so other people can see it and hopefully grow from this video and learn something new. And that's everything that I have for you today. So I'm gonna leave you with a peace, love, and happiness.